1. Toyota RAV4. Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about the 2026 Toyota RAV4, because this one is shaping up to be a really smart evolution of one of the most popular SUVs on the planet. The RAV4 has always been about real-life usability, and for 2026, Toyota isn't trying to reinvent it. They're refining it in all the right ways. Before we get into the details, quick reminder: if you enjoy staying up to date on upcoming SUVs, honest car talk, and real-world insights, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps a ton, and you won't miss future RAV4 updates as more info comes out. Now visually, the 2026 RAV4 is expected to look more modern and confident without losing that rugged personality people love. Think sharper headlights, a cleaner but tougher looking front end, and subtle changes that make it feel more premium and more athletic. It still looks like a RAV4, just more grown up and more in line with Toyota's newer SUV design language. Under the hood is where Toyota really stays in its comfort zone, and that's a good thing. The 2026 RAV4 is expected to lean heavily on hybrid power, because that's where it already dominates. Smooth acceleration, great fuel efficiency, and the kind of reliability RAV4 owners swear by. It's designed for daily driving, commuting, road trips, errands, without ever feeling slow or boring. Plug-in hybrid options should continue too, offering even more efficiency for people who want it. If you're someone who likes a little adventure, Toyota hasn't forgotten about you. The Adventure and TRD off-road trims are expected to return, with capable all-wheel drive and drive modes that handle snow, dirt roads, and rough weather confidently. This isn't a hardcore off-roader, but it's absolutely built for weekend escapes and bad conditions. Step inside, and the changes should be even more noticeable. A larger, faster touchscreen, updated digital gauges, and improved tech across the board should finally bring the RAV4 interior fully up to date. Expect better materials, cleaner layouts, and features like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto becoming more common. It's all about making the cabin feel easier, more comfortable, and more enjoyable day to day. Pricing is expected to stay competitive, which is key. There may be a small increase compared to previous years, especially for hybrid trims, but Toyota knows the RAV4's success depends on value. Compared to older models, the 2026 version should feel quieter, more efficient, more refined, and more tech-focused, without losing the simplicity that made the RAV4 a bestseller in the first place. At the end of the day, the 2026 Toyota RAV4 isn't chasing trends. It's sticking to what works and making it better. And that's exactly why it'll continue to be one of the smartest SUV choices out there. Number 2. Dodge Polara. Let's talk about something that's really turning heads lately: the 2026 Dodge Polara. Now, before anyone jumps into the comments, yes, this is a legendary name from Dodge's past, and what we're hearing right now points to a modern reimagining rather than a straight-up revival. But honestly, if Dodge brings the Polara back, this could be one of the most interesting moves they've made in years. From what's being rumored, the 2026 Polara would blend classic American muscle attitude with a modern, almost futuristic design. Picture a low, wide stance with bold body lines, aggressive lighting, and just enough retro inspiration to remind you of the original Polara without feeling stuck in the past. It wouldn't be subtle. This would be a Dodge through and through, designed to look powerful even when it's parked. Under the hood is where things get especially interesting. Instead of going full old-school V8, the new Polara is rumored to use a hybrid setup. That doesn't mean it loses its muscle car soul. It means quicker response, better efficiency, and stronger low-end punch. Dodge has been clear about keeping performance alive, even as things go more electrified, and this setup could strike that balance between power and modern expectations. Now, off-road capability isn't really what the Polara has ever been about. But if Dodge takes a slightly more rugged all-wheel drive approach, we could see light off-road confidence built in. Think bad weather, rough roads, maybe some dirt trails. Not rock crawling, but enough to make it feel versatile and planted in real-world driving. Inside, expect a big leap forward compared to classic models. A modern Polara would likely feature a wide digital display, a clean but aggressive dashboard layout, and materials that feel solid and driver-focused. Dodge tends to lean sporty rather than luxury, So expect supportive seats, bold interior accents, and tech that feels intuitive instead of overwhelming. It's about making the cabin feel exciting every time you get in. Pricing is still a big question mark, but if this Polara slots in between Dodge's mainstream and performance models, it could land in a very competitive space. Affordable enough to attract enthusiasts, but premium enough to feel special. Compared to the original Polara, which was all about size and straight-line power, the 2026 version would be smarter, more efficient, and far more livable day to day. If Dodge actually pulls the trigger on this, the 2026 Polara wouldn't just be a comeback, it would be a statement. A way of saying that heritage and modern tech can coexist, and that performance doesn't have to disappear to move forward. Honestly, if this ends up becoming reality, it could be one of the most exciting revivals we've seen in a long time. Number 3. Toyota Corolla Cross. Let's talk about the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross, because this little SUV doesn't get nearly enough hype for how smart it actually is. If you've ever thought, I want something easy like a Corolla, but with a little more space and versatility, this is exactly the kind of vehicle Toyota built for you. For 2026, the Corolla Cross is expected to get some light but meaningful design updates. Nothing radical, but enough to make it feel fresher and more confident. Expect sharper headlights, a cleaner front end, and subtle tweaks that give it a more modern, slightly tougher look. It still stays compact and city-friendly, but it looks more like a proper SUV than before, which is something a lot of buyers will appreciate. One of the biggest highlights continues to be the hybrid option, and Toyota is clearly leaning into that. The 2026 Corolla Cross Hybrid should deliver excellent fuel efficiency, while still feeling smooth and responsive around town. It's not trying to be fast or sporty. It's built to be easy, efficient, and stress-free to drive every single day. For commuters and small families, that's a huge win. Now, off-road features aren't really the main focus here, but available all-wheel drive gives the Corolla Cross more confidence than you might expect. Snowy roads, heavy rain, dirt paths, it's designed to handle those situations without drama. This isn't an adventure SUV, but it's definitely more capable than a regular sedan when conditions get rough. Step inside, and the 2026 model should feel more polished than earlier versions. Toyota is expected to upgrade the tech with a larger touchscreen, smoother graphics, and more standard features across trims. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto should be easy and seamless, and the overall layout is clean and intuitive. The materials won't scream luxury, but everything feels well put together and durable, which is exactly what most Corolla buyers want. In terms of space, it hits a really nice balance. There's more headroom and cargo space than a Corolla sedan, but it's still easy to park, easy to maneuver, and perfect for urban life. Groceries, weekend trips, kids gear. It handles daily life without feeling oversized. Pricing is expected to remain one of the Corolla Cross's strongest selling points. While there may be a small increase for 2026, especially on hybrid trims, it should stay very competitive. Compared to earlier models, this new version should feel more refined, better equipped, and more confident overall, without losing the simplicity that made the Corolla name so popular in the first place. At the end of the day, the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross isn't trying to impress everyone. It's trying to make life easier. And honestly, that's what makes it such a smart choice. Number 4. Chevrolet Chevelle. Let's talk about something that has muscle car fans buzzing. The 2026 Chevrolet Chevelle. Now, to be clear right up front, this is an anticipated revival, not something Chevy has officially confirmed yet. But if the Chevelle name does come back, the way it's being talked about suggests a bold, modern reimagining rather than a copy of the past. And honestly, that's what makes it so exciting. From what's being rumored, the 2026 Chevelle would keep that classic, long, aggressive presence, but with a much more modern edge. Think wide stance, sharp lighting, and a body that looks powerful without being overdone. You'd still recognize the Chevelle attitude instantly, but it would feel cleaner, more refined, and more in line with today's performance cars instead of a straight-up retro throwback. One of the biggest surprises people are talking about is the possibility of a hybrid-assisted powertrain. And before purists panic, this doesn't mean Chevy is abandoning performance. The idea here is to blend strong engine power with electric assist to boost acceleration, improve efficiency, and meet modern standards. It's less about being eco-focused and more about making the car quicker, smoother, and more usable every day. Kind of old-school muscle with a modern twist. Off-road capability obviously isn't what the Chevelle has ever been about. But if Chevy borrows some all-wheel drive tech from other performance models, it could give the car better grip and confidence in bad weather. Not for trails or dirt roads, but for real-world driving where traction actually matters. Inside, a modern Chevelle would be a massive leap from the originals. Expect a driver-focused cabin with a digital display, a large central screen, and a layout that feels sporty without being complicated. The vibe would likely balance retro inspiration with modern tech, solid materials, bold accents, and seats designed for comfort and support, whether you're cruising or pushing a little harder. Pricing is still a big question mark, but if the Chevelle returns, it would likely slot between mainstream performance cars and higher-end muscle models. Not cheap, but not unreachable either. Something aimed at enthusiasts who want heritage, performance, and modern features in one package. Compared to the classic Chevelles of the past, the 2026 version would be a completely different experience. Lighter, smarter, more refined, and far more livable, while still carrying that bold Chevrolet muscle identity. If Chevy actually brings this back, it wouldn't just be nostalgia, it would be a statement about where performance cars are headed next. And honestly, if that happens, the Chevelle name coming back could be one of the coolest automotive moments of the decade. Number 5. Tesla Model Q. Let's talk about the 2026 Tesla Model Q, because if this thing launches the way it's expected to, it could completely change how people look at Tesla. This isn't about luxury or crazy performance numbers. It's about Tesla going smaller, smarter, and way more accessible. From everything we've been hearing, the Model Q is expected to feature a fresh, compact design that separates it from the Model 3 and Model Y. Think shorter, more upright, and easier to live with in everyday situations. It's still going to have that clean Tesla look, smooth body lines, slim lighting, and no unnecessary details, but with proportions that feel more urban and more practical. It's the kind of car that looks just as at home in a city parking garage as it does cruising on the highway. Now, there's been some confusion online about powertrains, so let's clear this up. Despite some rumors, the Tesla Model Q is expected to be fully electric, not a hybrid. Tesla stayed committed to all-electric vehicles, and the Model Q is rumored to use a more efficient EV setup rather than a massive battery. That means solid real-world range, quicker charging, and lower overall cost, which is exactly the point of this car. It's about making EV ownership simpler and more affordable. Performance-wise, the Model Q isn't trying to be a rocket ship. Expect smooth, quick acceleration that feels fun but easy to control. Tesla's instant torque is still there, just tuned for everyday driving rather than speed records. It's designed to be comfortable, predictable, and efficient, something anyone can hop into and enjoy right away. Off-road features aren't really the focus here, but Tesla will likely include traction systems and drive modes that handle rain, snow, and rough roads confidently. This isn't an off-road SUV, but it should feel stable and capable in bad weather, which is what most drivers actually care about. Inside, the Model Q should stick closely to Tesla's minimalist interior style. A central touchscreen will likely control almost everything, paired with a clean dashboard and an open, airy feel. Materials may be simpler than higher-end Teslas, but the focus will be on usability, comfort, and smart design. Expect good visibility, clever storage, and software that keeps improving over time. Pricing is where the Model Q could really make waves. It's widely expected to be Tesla's most affordable vehicle yet, potentially coming in well below the Model 3. If Tesla pulls this off, it could bring a whole new group of buyers into the EV world. First-time owners, younger drivers, and people who've been waiting for a more budget-friendly Tesla. Compared to past Tesla models, the Model Q feels like a shift in philosophy. Less about pushing limits, more about reaching more people. And honestly, that might make it one of the most important Teslas ever. If this is the future Tesla is building toward, it's a future a lot more people can actually be part of.